see the end of the road. I'm still following to find out where it goes. I think you want me to hold the knife and push it through, but you won't let it show. Before I fall, I need to know, are you still holding on? Have you lost hope? 'Cause it's not fair to keep me close with broken promises. I need you to let me go. I'm still with you, but I feel alone. Standing in this house, it's not a home. Going through the motions, killing time. Waiting for a reason or a sign. Before I fall, I need to know, are you still holding on? Have you lost hope? 'Cause it's not fair to keep me close with broken promises. I need you to let me go. Carry on, the battle's on, the war's not over, the dawn's not that far away. Hop back on the saddle soon, you soulless soldier, the dark can consume your brain. All we ever wanted was a little air to breathe.
Why intensely sends it to the outside. He can't get there. Kevin King is going to win the Barbizzel FTF Cup Series. Into the lead. Bud gets wrecked in front of the pack. He saves it. 3-4 wide as they come to the white flag. Here comes Vargas down on the apron. They are 5 wide. Ian Plash will win it at the line. Is this package? Oh, there goes Jordan Lopez Jr. That's your race leader. Caution flag is out.
Still no one willing to give up, as they're going to be dead even off of the first chicane.
Oh, he saves it. What's going to happen here? Here comes the canvas. Get your foot there. He's got it. He's got it.
He's got it. Get there. No.
Endless end.
Hello and welcome back to the Modern Racing Prince FTF1 Series, and we're just down the road from that famed new track that we're all so excited to see this weekend at the old track at Chicagoland Speedway, just an hour's drive away from downtown Chicago, and we are ready to go ahead and take to the track in these very, very fast cars. It feels like forever since we've been at a track like this. Caleb, how are you feeling today?
Oh, this is going to be a blast. I always love this open wheel racing on ovals. Chicagoland, a track like none other. I mean, again, shape might be similar to something like a Kansas, but it's going to be its own beast.
Yeah, it's going to be an absolute exciting race here. Gone on a little bit early, so we'll get to see a little bit of warm-up racing on track. This is an awesome opportunity to just kind of remember what we don't do anymore in the NASCAR Cup Series in real life. This track that has so much history, so many awesome races that we've seen on it in the past. And as you can see right now, there's a little bit of on-track warm-up action. A couple of things to go through. One of the things I want to talk about, we're going to talk about seams again, Caleb. That middle seam, it's not the top, it's not the lower seam, it's that middle seam you got to be on the lookout for. It makes these cars very, very loose, hard to keep it under control as you cross over that seam.
Yeah, I've been watching a lot of practice and, seeing these cars bump around. The inside lane, that bottom groove is definitely the preferred line. It's just one little mistake and it'll wash you right up into the track, and if you get into that middle and top lane, it can get sketched for you pretty quick. So you want to make sure to avoid that. As you see, one car just slams the tri-oval wall, Josh Stoltz, and if you're not careful, that'll happen to you in the race and your day will be over.
Yeah, we saw a lot of action. I think back to that Michigan race that we ran a while ago of just how close quarters racing all of it was. It was a lot of drafting, a lot of managing your momentum throughout the race. And one of the things that we did think back on is just how crucial green flag pit stops were, getting on and off pit road. Stuff that may seem not so important ended up being the difference of being 1 second behind the leader or being stuck outside that draft, falling back very quickly. So a lot of drivers during this warm-up session will be practicing getting onto pit road, hitting their marks, and getting through it, I bet.
Absolutely, and there's a lot of elements in this car that are actually sort of reminiscent for me to the next-gen car, where, what sticks out to me the most is this rear diffuser that's on these cars. That's, that underbody arrow that's going to seal these cars to the ground, hopefully give them extra grip so they're able to move around the track a little more to make moves, make passes, but also it makes them very aero dependent, where they're going to, have to be in each other's draft wake at an oval like this, where you're approaching speeds of 240, 245 miles per hour.
So you'll see right here, Austin Knight is going to go ahead and try and practice a pit road entry. You got to enter into turn number 3. You can't enter off of turn number 4. So it's going to be all about maximizing, getting down on the pit road, getting to speed. He's going to take this a little bit more casually than we've seen a couple of other drivers do. But that gives you an idea of what they're going to have to do under green flag conditions. Such a smaller field here, so the idea that we're going to have a load of cautions at the front of those races not necessarily guaranteed, Caleb.
Absolutely, and I know Austin Knight, talking to him earlier, said that he was experiencing some migraine symptoms, so running a special setup here tonight, just trying to power through this race. Maybe we'll see a Michael Jordan flu game out of him, but looking through the rest of the field, there'll be some interesting guys to watch, and I think you're right, where green flag pit stops are going to be so important here at Chicagoland Speedway, but also, your execution lap in, lap out on the racetrack is definitely going to play a role for sure.
Yeah, right now we're watching Ben Fuller make his way around the track, get a couple of laps in. We've right now he is currently, looks like, 6th or so on, or 4th on the board at the moment during this warm-up session. Will be gridded in the 8th position, getting some laps in, just trying to participate right now. Couple of other notes. 22 seconds are our lap times we're looking at are our fastest lap times that we've seen all day in the high 22s, but definitely a lot of speed out there on track. I think you can definitely make a lot happen if you're quick.
For sure. And again, this is a very important race on the schedule. Keep in mind, this is the last race before the Rectangle 500, qualifying for that coming up in about 2 weeks. So, and that's going to be, you know, one of the marquee events on this schedule. So, I mean, these guys need all the oval practice they can get, and any experience with these Dallara cars is appreciated at this point.
Yeah, these are definitely very quick cars. Gonna go through our driver standings real quick. That I gonna see what we got going right now. We got Hamilton Akabuezi up in the he is in the lead of the driver points by 20 points over Brandon Hawken, both of which are here today. So that title fight still definitely gonna be in play today. And a lot of drivers from 4th all the way down to 14th. It's not a massive swing. 20 points from 4th to 14th. That's a really good day. And several drivers that are in that list are not here today. So we got a lot of drivers. Justin Malillo, who's 3rd in points right now at 81 points. Matthew Brewer, who is at the moment, he is in the session. So he is looking to continue to try and close that gap to Justin Malillo directly ahead. He's behind by, I can't get that number exact right now, but 54 points. So it's still a lot of close battles, still a lot of opportunity for them close in that right now.
And again, you mentioned Akabueze and Brandon Hawken at the top of the charts, and both of them at Road America were on fire, finishing 1-2 in the sprint race there. So they're going to be battling at it all day long today, and it's just going to be fun to see how that championship fight continues to develop as we get on through the year.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, coming up next right now after these break will be green flag racing here. We'll go ahead and get it started here shortly. Tune back here in 1 second. And welcome back to Chicagoland. We are getting ready to go ahead and go green flag racing here very shortly. 50 seconds left in this warm-up session. Lots of awesome racing so far. Just a little sampler plate of what we're about to get here in just a few minutes. It's going to be a wonderful race here. We got one green, white, checkered if we want to do that. All these drivers are going to be racing without a fast repair. Fuel limit's going to be 74%, so a little bit smaller fuel tank. See a couple more pit stops. And you know what? It's actually kind of surprising, but unlimited tire sets. We brought all the tires for today's race, so don't have to worry about how many times you come down pit road. It's all going to be about managing that fuel on the long run here at Chicagoland, and it's going to be a sunset race. So we'll see if those lights are going to be needed during this race, or if the sun will stay up just long enough in order for us to stay outside of the lights. Checkered flag flies at today's races. We saw a massive wreck right there. Everyone is getting prepared and ready to.
Yeah, this is going to be a fun one for sure. Again, with that bottom being the preferred line, you're really going to see people spread out on these straightaways and then have to figure out ways to quickly negotiate a way to get back down to the bottom. And with our field here, that's going to be a lot of fun to watch every lap.
It will indeed. We got a not so big field here today. It looks like we're going to have about 18 cars on track today. Not going to be a large field, but I think this front row is starting to look a little bit more familiar than I think I've ever seen before in my life. Feels like we're in Formula One right now, but the front row with Brandon Hawken and Hamilton Akabuezi, once again, those two cannot get away from each other, are still going to be our front row runners, and that is just incredible to see just how consistent they've been. Jake Poulin, Jonathan Goke, Nicholas Pressey, and Justin Malillo are going to round out row number 3. Ryan Naraki, Ben Fuller, Seth Egger, and Ryan Pendicio round out our top 10. Continuing on, we have Matthew Brewer, Josh Stoltz, going to round out row number 6, Brian Sabelski, DL Lemon, Austin Knight, Bill Cooley II, Robert Lowry, and Bibi Ruiz. I have that listed as Rafael Ruiz, going to be starting from the pit road for that 95 machine.
And we'll get everybody gridded up here. Austin Knight was a little slow off the grid, but otherwise he will rejoin as well as Ruiz, who, as you said, is on pit road.
Yeah, these cars, they will be going green next time by, and this will be curious to see. It's a bit of a smaller field than we've had in the past. 18 cars going to be starting today's race. Notoriously, we are very caution forward heavy, so typically we see maybe 1 to 2 cautions to start a race out, and then long green flag runs to finish it out. We'll see if that format is going to be followed yet again here today, or if we're going to see a long green flag run to start. Lots of drafting, lots of excitement here at Chicagoland. Any last thoughts, Caleb?
Yeah, going to have to get strapped in here for 200 laps. Going to be a fun one.
Absolutely. Pace car is going to pull down to the safety of pit road, and our leader, Brandon Hawken, takes the green flag, crosses the start-finish line, and the question is he going to be able to maintain it going into turn number 1, or is Hamilton going to be able to make it happen? And Hamilton quickly starts to fall back.
Akabueze on that outside. Going to have to regroup real fast. Pressey coming with a big run. Going to be able to get past Hawken as well going into 3.
You got to wonder, is Hawken planning a long fuel saving strategy here, since that's going to be your limiting factor in each and every single run? Is being out front the best place to be, or is he opting to stay in the draft behind other drivers?
Yeah, that draft is going to be so important. Could save you up to 3 or 4 laps, which is going to make a huge difference in opening up your strategy. You see side by side for the lead. Here comes Goke down to the inside.
Goke, so fast at these types of racetracks, easily establishes himself out in front, finishes lap number 2 as a leader already, and that was an extremely impressive drive to the front for Goke, already up to first place.
Absolutely. Ben Fuller able to get around Hawken as well. Fuller coming with a run, has to quickly decide to get back out of the throttle here, and you see just how sideways these cars can get. Down to the inside, going to open the door for Fuller. Pressey's able to block.
Championship leaders slowly starting to fall backwards, 4th and 5th currently. Not sure if that's any sort of just discomfort with the car or just trying to play it safe, but we're still green flag racing, 4 laps in, working lap number 4. This is single file action. Draft is certainly going to be a big part of today's race, and you can already see it right now. They're running in a freight train.
Absolutely. And again, not seeing much fanning out in these corners. Again, since draft is so important, you're going to want to stay right behind the guy in front of you. Brandon Hawken right now. You see Josh Stoltz trying to make a move on Akabueze down the backstretch. Stoltz going to find a spot to just slot in line behind Brandon Hawken for P5.
And he is able to get by and just make his way towards the front. It's Stoltz is going to be one to keep an eye on. He has been very quick, not quite gotten the finishes that he's wanted necessarily, but he is excited, wanting to go out there, get a good performing run, and he is. You know what? I think that's one of those sneaker picks, one of those ones that you can choose, throw some money on if we had betting here. That might be one that could end up giving you a good old payday if he's able to close out a good race.
Absolutely, and Ryan Naraki was just able to complete a pass on Hamilton Akabueze as well for the 6th position. So again, Akabueze falling and fading here early, but I think that would be more, rather than discomfort with the car, it would be more just laying back. Again, this is a long race. You're not going to get any reward for running up front right now, so just set yourself in position for the long run during this race, and not so much right now.
Yeah, both Hamilton, Akabueze, Brandon Hawken, 9 starts so far, started every single race. Both have 3 wins. Biggest difference right here, though, is podiums. Akabueze has 7, Hawken has 5. And I think right now, that's going to be important. And look who's up at the front. That's Stoltz. I spoke to him earlier in the race, or before the race, and he only had one comment to say. He said, "This is going to be stupid." Sure, he's feeling a little less concerned about today's race now that he's out in front and has clean track in front of him.
Another thing that's become apparent even here just in the first 10 laps is just how fast these cars are moving around this racetrack with their corner speed. Big move coming, you see side by side right here in this group. But I mean, you see how fast this corner speed and how fast these cars are moving around this racetrack, and it almost feels like an equivalent to a short track in the Cup Series, where everything is just moving around you so fast, maybe like a Bristol, where you just have no time to react to anything happening around you. It really is just everything moving by you. When you're going 240 miles per hour down the straightaways, it can be crazy. You see on board here with Ben Fuller.
Yeah, Ben Fuller right here on board, and this gives us a good opportunity to just kind of see the speed differential. Oh my goodness gracious, that's Nicholas Pressey directly in front of him, having all sorts of issues with his car, just trying to get it back underneath him. He's going to continue to fall back. Looks like he's going to fall from 3rd place all the way back to about 7th place. So big drop for Nicholas Pressey, but not completely out of the picture. Just a little bit of a rough lap as he's continuing to fall back.
And you see this group right here with Pressey, who was unstable there. And again, that's all you have to worry about with these open wheel cars, is keeping that car underneath you and trying to keep it sealed down to the racetrack to create all that downforce and give you that extra grip. You see Hamilton Akabueze continuing his back step for right now, falling back to the 9th position, excuse me. Looking to the inside though for 8th.
We got one car off the lead, or off of the speed.
Pressey.
It looks like Pressey. Not sure if that's if he's dealing with some sort of outside of the simulator issue or what have you, but we've seen stuff like that in the past where maybe you might have a cat that is wanting a little bit of attention.
Oh, trouble up front. Oh, Ryan Naraki just had a big save. And he was all the way sideways in turn number 2, somehow keeps it collected, and that's going to open the door for Ben Fuller, who was running 7th all the way up to 3rd. Great job from Naraki.
And right now we got another issue on track. Bill Cooley is just riding around the apron at exactly 50 miles per hour, which is identical to our pit road speed. Makes you wonder, does he have a pit road speed limiter button that he does not know how to remove? That's an unfortunate issue for him.
Yeah, it's concerning for sure, and he'll come down pit road, try to get it resolved. Meanwhile, things have really spread out up here at the front, and it was all with that Ryan Naraki spin. We'll try to get a replay for you, but right now, Josh Stoltz, Brewer, Fuller all into line.
There's been a lot of close calls already, but one thing that hasn't happened quite yet is a wreck. And We'll see just how close Naraki got here on this wreck. It was very sketch. You see a replay right here. Get that one more time from a slightly different angle. You can see he just gets so loose, manages to keep it underneath him. Makes you wonder if he kind of crossed that seam, if that might have been the issue.
Well, you have heard that unsettles these cars and could definitely be something for sure there. We'll see. Back up at the front here, Lowry has been on a charge the last few laps. Up to the outside now. Got to be careful running that higher groove because, again, that will upset the race car as we saw with Naraki. But right now, he's just trying to follow leader Josh Stoltz right now. Stay in that wake that car is creating and continue to keep powering forward. And he does have a run. He's going to try and look to the outside here, get side by side going into one.
Stoltz is going to be able to stay out in front. Lowry not quite able to do that, but look who's out in the picture. That is Gok. Just joined on that outside lane with absolute pace. He is hauling the mail on that outside. And might I mention that wall in that background. He's got a lot of inspiration for a lot of fast cars there. I'm sure he is looking to that inspiration in order to carry some speed here off corner exit. But right now it's Stoltz and Lowry out in front for the lead. Gok coming with a run again. He is not able to get there just as fast as he was that one time. And Stoltz still maintaining that lead.
And you'll see the door going to open up on the inside for Matthew Brewer. And both these cars going to come close to getting together. Again, no leeway with these race cars. No contact, anything like that. It's really just run as close as you can together without touching, because, you know, one little mistake like that and you will ruin yours and a few other cars' days if you get that close. Looking back up at the front, Brewer with a big move, carrying that draft. Going to get to the outside of Josh Stoltz, and that's been the first car that's really been able to take that run and keep it throughout the corner. He has a nose on the backstretch.
And this is an epic battle for the front right now. Lowry just behind Brewer. Stoltz able to get the lead once again, but Brewer looking to do a crossover move. Takes the lower lane on the front stretch. Is in a better position, and Stoltz is going to fall back, take Brewer, and put him to the top of the board.
Absolutely, and this might be a 4-car battle soon with Gok and Josh Stoltz going from first to third, but we know he has the speed to get it back. He's going to try to get down to the inside of Robert Lowry, and he is there as they come down the front straightaway to complete lap 23.
Stoltz with a strong run to the outside, not able to make it happen through 1 and 2. Actually gets a little bit tight off of corner exit. That's going to give Lowry the opportunity to go make a run off Brewer. Lowry goes to the outside, gets very loose into that outside lane. He's falling back, continuing to fight a very, very rapidly he's losing all control out there. I can't find the words for it to describe it, but he is fighting that car like crazy.
Yeah, definitely lost the stability underneath it there. And you'll see he'll try to recollect himself right now. And again, just on the top side, way sideways right now. That car is not handling well up there. He's going to have to find a way to get back down on the inside. And another problem with these, or with this is, you know, when you get that draft run, it's going to carry your momentum all the way up to that top side where the cars are unstable. So you have to get out of the gas or the throttle or something of the sort to slow yourself down. Or else you'll see what's happening with Robert Lowry, where that car is just all over the place sideways, losing spots. Gok down to the inside for third.
And this makes you kind of wonder, what does Hawken, what does Akabueze know that the rest of these guys don't? If I'm sitting here and I'm racing for the lead, my mind immediately starts thinking, wait, those points leaders, they're the points leaders for a reason. Why are they doing what they're doing? Am I racing too hard at the beginning of this race? What do they know that I don't?
And I think Akabueze and Hawken right now are just laying back. They want to stay out of trouble right now. Again, lap 29. Just chill out in the back for right now and let everybody else battle up front. But these are good battles. You see Gok to the outside looking for the lead, trying to run all the way up against that high side. Going to open up the door for Stoltz, who has not only the draft, but with the shorter way around the racetrack, a huge run here. May try to retake the lead.
On the outside, Stoltz is able to do it. He's going to go from the high side to the low side, try and make some sort of move with a draft there. Not able to get quite the rapid run that he's looking for. bring Fuller into the picture. He's looking to capitalize on this battle. This is a 3-car race for the lead at the moment, but Goke is sitting just behind with every other car who's also looking to participate, making a 5-car battle for the lead.
All over each other right now. Ben Fuller in this battle. Lowry and Goke still trying to negotiate where they should go. Josh Stoltz all the way up against the wall, trying to get this arc a little bit later in the corner to not upset the car as much, but it doesn't really matter because he does not have that drafting help. And you see Ben Fuller with a huge run going to decide not to go with it in the corner and just kind of lay back for right now. It's going to stack him up just a little bit, maybe even open the door back for Naraki.
Right now, we have one person in the back, 7th place right now. That's Seth Eggert. See him on the right side of your screen. He is looking to get a good run here, wanting to perform very well. Started off this race in the 9th position, up 2 spots already, continuing to try and work his way forward. He's got a good run going as this battle for the lead gets a little bit awkward as it looks like Fuller falls back just a little bit, but begins to start having a run on Brewer. But Brewer continuing to maintain that lead. There's a lot of coming and going in this race. It seems like you initially get a good run, then you're out in front for a little bit, and then you can't quite get back up there as quickly as you were able to the first time.
Oh, Stoltz cut down in front of Goke there, and Stoltz right now, I mean, everybody's been trying to figure out a way to time this run just perfectly to where you get it off the exit of the corner, and that's going to require you to get right up behind somebody in the corner, which leaves little room for error. And you see Ryan Naraki down to the inside underneath Stoltz, and Stoltz is really starting to struggle now. Lowry to his inside as well. So it really shows you how you don't want to go all the way up against that wall because you will, it'll feel like you have an anchor attached to the back of the car, basically.
It seems like right now, the main thing you want to avoid doing is overheating that right rear tire. If you can avoid putting too much heat into that right rear tire, you're going to be able to have a lot of grip. It looks like a lot of drivers are battling that loose condition, whether that be because of that middle groove seam causing the car to get loose, or them trying to over arc and rely way too much on that right rear quarter or right rear tire. It's so easy to overheat. It's so easy to lose grip in that tire. Something to think about long term in this race.
Absolutely. Goke still trying to figure this out, and really this front pack has started to kind of coagulate together right now. Lowry trying to get to the outside, but you got to think here on lap 37 when we might start to see pit stops again. Our pit window that we were looking at here was about 35 to 40 laps, and once you are in that draft, it can help you save a lot. But for some of these guys, as you see, it looks like our leaders might be pitting.
Yeah, we got a couple of takers right now coming down to pit road, and as it stands, it looks like it's like Josh Stoltz is going to come down pit road, Matthew Brewer coming down pit road. Bit of a difficult pit road to manage. See if we can get through this all cleanly. Said it in the pre-race show. Pit road is going to be super important, as I think somebody actually got down to the pit road late. That might have been Goke. I'm not sure if Goke actually got down in time. That might be a penalty for Goke, and that should be a penalty for Goke. Goke might have a penalty right now.
And again, it all comes down to execution here on pit road. Can definitely make or break your race, as everybody's still trying to get down. You see Ben Fuller has cycled out to be your leader.
And just for our viewers, if you're curious why that might have been a penalty for Goke, you have to get below that white line before that outside race status indicating light, basically the caution light on that outside. You must be below that white line before you get to that portion of the corner. And Goke did not get to that, as we have a couple of drivers who almost slide up in front of the current pace field. That's terrifying.
And Ben Fuller is able to get on pit road, and Naraki, Eggert, sounds like Malillo might this time. Going to get a replay right here with Jonathan Goke.
It was right before that, but basically what had happened was he just, and well, you see right here, missed pit road entrance already, so he's already dealing with a heck of an issue. We'll see what that kind of turns out to mean for him. It may just be a reminder to the field, hey guys, you need to go down beneath that line beforehand. And oh my goodness gracious, there was an absolute near wreck for Akabuwazi coming down to pit road.
And again, all about execution right now. Pendicio coming off. Brandon Hawken was just able to get off as well. Malolo, this whole group that pitted last time.
Everyone at this point has come down pit road and gotten service at some point. So it looks like that's not going to be an issue. No penalties issued as of yet. See, Ben Fuller passes Akabuwazi. Ben Fuller should cycle to our lead with Hawken in second.
Yeah, good round of stops from Hawken and Akabuwazi, who should be coming off second and fourth. Pendicio with a great round as well, but Ben Fuller with the lead, and you got to wonder if Brandon Hawken at this point is still with that same mentality of just kind of running around, clicking off laps right now, or if he really wants to try to make a charge to get up back to this front. I mean, he's got his championship rival right behind him, but Pendicio, his teammate, kind of as a buffer right here.
And you remember all those issues for Jonathan Goke. He was actually pretty far forward in this pace field. Now he's outside of that pace draft, currently about 2 seconds behind Lowry. So that is that's something that he's going to need to be able to figure out, and how to close that gap. If he doesn't have a caution, it could be difficult to close a gap like that on a track like this with so much draft in that lead pack.
Well, yeah, and again, you got to remember there's not much off throttle time, so you really are dependent on that draft to keep with the guy in front of you. If you get separated from him at any point, it's going to be hard to regain that back.
Working lap number 48 here at Chicagoland, and this race is absolutely flying by, Caleb. Just thinking about it right now, looks like our pit window seems to be about 39 to 43 laps that you're going to have to come down pit road. If you're the leader or you're outside of draft, you're going to want to lean definitely, maybe even as low as 38 laps that you're going to have to come down pit road. But that's something just long term you have to think. How do you break 200 laps down into 38 to 43 lap chunks and try to maximize how quick you are on track? That's something I think long term you're going to have to figure out. Bit of an awkward stage, say the least, if you're able to come down and make that work.
Absolutely, and you see Josh Stoltz here on the outside trying to make it work, and again, we haven't seen much success with that today, but he was able to get around Pendicio and now able to get around Hawken and try to chase down Ben Fuller for this lead. So Josh Stoltz on an absolute tear right now, and really starting to see that middle groove at least show a little bit of speed.
Yeah, Josh Stoltz is going to try and make that pass here. We'll see if he's going to be able to do it on the back stretch. Makes a clean run and is going to pass by Fuller with, it looks like, little to no protest here at Chicagoland. Josh Stoltz is going to go ahead and lead lap number 51 here at Chicagoland for the Modern Racing Prince FTF1 Series. We'll be back right after these short messages. Welcome back to the modernracingprince.com FTF1 Series at Chicagoland. And, well, you didn't miss much. It's all been single file action here throughout that break. Working lap number 58. Right now, Josh Stoltz continues to lead with Ben Fuller behind. Maybe a little bit of shuffling throughout the middle of the pack, but nothing really insane. Hamilton Akabuezi, our point sitter, currently sits P9, tail end of this lead pack, just trying to make sure that he doesn't lose any more time. And then there's a pack of 3 cars, about 3 to 4 seconds behind those drivers: Brian Zabelski, Nicholas Pressey, Jonathan Goke. Goke having issues during that first pit road stop. And you know what? We're marching through this race real quick, Caleb.
Absolutely, just clicking off laps right now. But once again, this battle for the lead starting to develop just a little bit more with Ben Fuller poking that car around, trying to see anything. But Matthew Brewer with a big run on the outside all the way up to 3rd right now. Maybe he can make some noise up here in the top 3.
Brandon Hawken not looking to protest. Hawken been running a conservative race all race. Notice a lot of these drivers have been running that bottom line during this initial part of the run. I think there was a little bit of lessons learned during that first green flag run, that running that outside line will eat those tires away a lot quicker. We saw a lot of drivers battling a loose conditions. One of the notables, Robert Lowry, who you see is back up on that outside lane, currently battling for the 5th position with Hawken. Hawken's not going to really put much of a protest up. And it looks like Stoltz is also going to move to that outside lane. And it looks like this battle for the lead is going to quickly heat up as Stoltz and Lowry get really close to each other. Lowry able to make up 3 to 4 positions in 1 lap, and Lowry looking to put his name to the top of the board right here at Chicagoland.
Ben Fuller had a big run but opted to get out of it, and big move from Stoltz going up to the high side, gets Lowry unsettled. That's going to open the door back for Brewer to move into this 3rd position right now. And again, I don't think the battle is as much tire wear as it is just this tire temp. If you get those tires overheated, then it's going to be really hard to utilize that grip around the racetrack, where if you're able to get those tires cooled back down, then you might be able to find yourself surging with some runs once again. So keeping those tires cool is the optimal battle right now. But looking around, Brewer with Lowry up here still side by side. I mean, there are fun battles all over the place right now here at Chicagoland.
Yeah, definitely you are correct on that tire temperature. I think Lowry's putting a lot of tire temperature in there. He's finally able to get down to that bottom lane. It's going to be easy for him to cool his tires down, or it's going to be easier for him to get his tires cooled down. But what damage might have he already done to those tires by running those outside lanes? It's not very forgiving once you use that tire life up on a tire. I know you said it was about heat, but you got to think tire cycles, tire temperature cycles, even the minor ones where you go from running the extreme high side to the low side. But right now, Stoltz is going to try and defend from that outside line. Goes really high, about 4th groove up through 3 and 4.
And Stoltz as well has been experimenting with this middle groove. Oh, Lowry with an exit. He pushes up off the corner. Opens the door for Fuller, but Fuller has not really been taking these runs. He's been kind of, as soon as I say that, he goes down to the inside of Lowry, but he has been pretty apprehensive about actually using these runs and is pretty content just sitting in line right now. Maybe it's like a fuel conservation method.
I mean, there's really no point on trying to push it here. If you can try and save your tires, you're not going to win the race on lap 67. So why really push that hard? All Stoltz is doing at the moment is currently just moving the air out of the way for that field behind. I think that's why you don't see as many people trying to make moves to go up front. Doesn't really mean much in the grand scheme of things for your points or anything else. And I think Stoltz, he might be listening. I think he's dropping back.
And again, Ben Fuller does not want that clean air, that lead right now, and stacks up that entire front pack.
Oh my goodness.
And that's going to open the door for Brandon Hawken, who's had enough of it. He wants 3 wide for the lead through the middle, and that's going to put Stoltz making contact up with the wall.
That was a game of chicken at 220 miles per hour. Stoltz and Fuller both did not want to lead the field, and because of that, it became an absolute logjam throughout the field. And Hawkins says, you know what? Move me up to the front. I don't care. I'll lead a couple of laps. He did not want to be caught up in that absolute logjam that was caused by Stoltz and Fuller trying to both say, you know what? No, you take the lead. No, you take the lead.
I can't say I've seen anything like that before. Josh Stoltz again on this outside. We saw him. He didn't want to lead once. Maybe just trying to find a place to slot in down on this inside. But when you get out of the throttle here, it really stacks everybody up, like you said. And that's really opened the door for the tail end of this pack. Guys like Goke, Sabilski, Pandisio all joining this group now.
Yeah, and that whole stack up literally
Goke's up in the wall.
Oh, man, Goke into the wall. I was about to say that saved Goke's hopes, but if he gets into that wall, that may not be good for him currently. He doesn't have a meatball, so he may be able to get away with it. But Nicholas Pressey, Brian Sabelski, Jonathan Goke, all back into this picture, all because of a game of chicken between the leaders.
3 wide down the backstretch with Pandisio, Lowry, and Goke for 1 second. Goke really trying this outside lane, and it's not so much that outside lane's faster as much as everybody else has been slowing down, and I think Brandon Hawkins says he's finally had enough up here. That's going to put Goke all the way up to the front after getting in the wall. Stoltz opening the door for him as well. Justin Malillo jumping out his line. He's trying to move into the 5th position.
It is absolutely a wonder how we have not had any sort of incidents on track. I'll knock on some wood over here to make sure we don't have any, but we are quickly approaching another set of green flag pit stops. That should open up about lap 76. We may see our first takers come down to pit road, maybe a little bit later, lap 78, 79. But before we hit 80s, I would expect we'll see our first pit road taker.
And again, getting close to that pit window. Right now, Goke, your leader, just logged 35, Stoltz 36. Brandon Hawken with the freshest stuff up here with this group, 32 laps in. He, Malillo, and Pandisio, if you remember back to that first round of pit stops, all pitted together. So they're in the best position, but still are going to have to pit sometime here in the next 6 to 8 laps.
And you got to wonder, as Goke starts to approach these green flag pit stops, how much is he in his head about that whole issue coming down the pit road last time by? Is that going to mentally mess with his head? Or is he going to be able to be like a goldfish, as they say? Forget about it. Don't remember it. Whatever happened, happened. I don't remember what it was. I'm just going to go down and continue to do what I do best. Get down to green flag pit stops as best I can.
Absolutely. And seeing everybody start to single file out now really makes you think that these green flag pit stops are about to get underway. See on board with Justin Malillo.
Yeah, right now on board with Justin Malillo. And this is going to be just one of those things you got to look out for as we, if we stay on board here, when we goes down the backstretch one more time, as we kind of start to approach these pit road entrances, you got to be on the lookout. It's going to be hard to look down that pit road. You're going to see this, as we got several takers this time by, the sun might be popping out, might make it a little bit difficult to see who's coming down pit road. Right there, that's going to be really difficult. Who's there? Oh, that's Stoltz.
And that can make it so difficult. And again, as this track temperature starts to drop with...
Stoltz speeding. Stoltz just was speeding.
Oh, that's big.
Stoltz overcooked entry and got a speeding penalty. That, if there's no caution, unfortunately for Stoltz, that's going to be an unfortunate penalty that's going to be extremely difficult to overcome in a race like this.
And again, one bad pit stop, one mistake can absolutely take you out of the running here. And we'll see a few more coming down. Looks like Jonathan Goke, Matthew Brewer among them.
See if anyone else is able to have any issues here. Doesn't appear. There's a lot of people that are overslowing to make sure they don't speed through Sector 1 of pit road. That's where our friendly police officer sits down there with his radar gun, making sure that you're not going an inch over that 50 mile per hour speed limit.
And looking around right now, again, should be expecting these leaders to pit anytime now. And Robert Lowry comes over the radio, says he will be coming down. Brennan Hawken and Ben Fuller as well are about at their limit.
Oh, there was a really, really, really close maneuver right there between Hawken and Fuller. They were able to get it sorted. But all of that said, Josh Stoltz, 2 laps down. That's an unfortunate penalty in a race like this. This might as well be Bristol or Martinsville. Getting a penalty on pit road is a near death sentence for any hopes of a run here. As we see Fuller, he's going to drop down to the apron to make his way down to pit road.
Going to be difficult here. You see Justin Malillo trying to get this lead. He's got his teammate behind him and Ryan Naraki, and maybe these two are trying to jump out in front of Brandon Hawken before they all come down the pit lane.
All of these gentlemen here are teammates with one another, with the exception of Hamilton Akabuezi. He is lonely right now with no teammate to work with. Hawken, Bandicio, Malillo, Naraki, both dancing partners on the dance floor here at Chicagoland. Akabuezi looking a little bit lonely right now, looking for a partner to work with, and he's just going to go ahead and be the third wheel to the Hawken Bandicio dance party.
Hawken going to peel off there and leave now only 4 cars who have not come in here. And again, we thought the maximum you'd be able to go is about lap 45. And Justin Malillo says he is coming down this time by here on lap 43 of this stint.
I would imagine that Naraki is going to go with him, and it looks like that is the case. Akabuezi going to stay out. Bandicio also going to stay out. Oh my goodness, there is a close call there between Bandicio and Malillo, as both Malillo and Naraki have trouble getting down to pit road speed. Neither one of them got a penalty though, so just barely by inches avoiding getting sent to pit road purgatory.
Back up at the front, Bandicio coming back down as well.
And that leaves a lone individual standing who has not come down pit road. Hamilton Akabuezi. Other than Bandicio, the only car on the lead lap as it stands, and Bandicio is coming down pit road. Hamilton now makes his way down to pit road. Is he going to be able to do it without any issues? We'll follow along and see if that happens. Left front lockup, but no big deal. This gets it down to 50 miles per hour just in time.
Again, just clean execution here from Akabuezi. Made up a fair amount of time on pit road last time by. Looking right now, Justin Malillo, I think, will cycle out with the lead here.
Yeah, so it looks like Malillo and Naraki managed to get a really good run there, and we'll see where Akabuezi cycles out. He is making his way off of pit road now, getting up to speed. Start-finish line for Malillo. See where Malillo is able to cycle to. Akabuezi not quite up to speed as the Traction GG machines quickly catch up to him. And boom. Pass right by him.
Akabuezi, good job getting cycled out here. He's got right in between Malillo and Naraki, the teammates. And really, these three have a fair buffer on back to Robert Lowry. About a second and a half.
Now, I've seen Malillo, I've seen Naraki work before. They are not against the idea of doing something a little strange in order to get a little bit more out of their fuel boxes. So I don't necessarily believe in the fact that Malillo is going to be out in the lead here for a while. I have a feeling he is going to probably at some point or another try to save fuel as much as he can, or sacrifice himself so that Naraki could go up there and maybe win the race overall.
And Naraki again able to get around Akabuezi right there. Here on lap 92, this is really the most spread out we've seen everybody all day, and everybody on a similar pit strategy right now, but your leaders are in the best position, I think, in Akabuezi, Naraki, and Justin Malillo. Both of them, or all three of them, excuse me, have about a 5-lap difference back to 4th and 5th, Lowry and Eggert. And then Bandicio, Ben Fuller, Matthew Brewer, this whole group, all kind of in the same boat, fuel strategy-wise at least.
Yeah, they're not going to push it too hard. And actually, what's interesting is Akabuezi appears to just be a little bit slower than those two cars in front. Not sure if he is just not wanting to participate in the absolute speed and pace that they have and conserve more fuel, or if he lost that draft and is instead deciding, you know what, I'm going to fall back to this group. I'm not going to battle for first and second. I'm going to be content with the third place finish, knowing he has a 20-point lead right now to Hawken.
Siaka Bueze all the way up against the wall there. Really had to get out of the throttle. Going to be about a 20-mile-per-hour difference. Going to drop him all the way back down to 8th. And again, that's really unfortunate.
Yeah, definitely not in that front two like they were before, but as it stands right now, that distance is about 1.5 seconds between Lowry and the tail end car of Melillo for that front pack. I just don't believe that these two are going to be able to maintain and continue to gap as far as they are, especially with how much side-by-side racing that they're doing. We'll see how long they're able to hold it, but they're actually, you know what? I may take that back. I think I've seen this one before. It's almost like a two-car tandem, but instead of pushing the car in front, you're going to use that draft to kind of give you that slingshot effect and just almost dance back and forth, swapping the lead back and forth, trying to continue to gap out. And yeah, that seems to be working right now. That gap is getting slowly but surely a little bit bigger each and every single lap. It's not working every time, but it is certainly looking much more coordinated than the rest of the field, and they are making it work to some pretty good effectiveness.
Well, yeah, I mean, you're not having to get out of the throttle whatsoever. You're able to just take these runs and kind of let them slingshot you ahead. And this is really the ideal position for Melillo and Nawrocki to be in, because these two right now, both teammates, obviously able to coordinate together. Oh, big wiggle out of Nawrocki like we saw earlier, and that's going to impede their progress just a little bit. He's able to recollect the car, but he has some ground to make up. But again, as I was saying, this is the ideal position if they're not able to let Ben Fuller back in this battle. You know, these two together really can just try to do what Stuart Haas Racing did in 2018 and just get a lead and keep it out in front of the field.
Yeah, they are able to dance their way out ahead, and that little moment definitely looked like it might have lost them a little bit, but in the grand scheme of things, that's just going to be a footnote on an interesting chapter of this race. As we cross halfway, 100 laps to go here at Chicagoland, we're going to go ahead and dance our way over to some advertisers. We will catch you guys on the other side. Thank you very much. This is Modern Racing Prince FTF1 Series. Welcome back to the modernracingprince.com FTF1 series. And the dancing is happening throughout the field. Nothing in that effect is changing. But there is so much action happening here on track. But don't worry, that action once this race is over isn't going to be you're not going to go the whole weekend without more action. We got plenty of action to look forward to. We got the GP Turn Racing iRacing qualifying series here on Thursday. We got the NASCAR qualifying Road to Pro series also on Thursday, and the Eldora Racing, the core Eldora Racing, Monday, July 10th. But also upcoming this weekend, right here, we got the Chicago Street Race for the FTF Cup Series, as well as the Chicago Oval Race this weekend. So looking forward to a lot of awesome racing ahead. This is a Chicago-packed weekend, but right now, our primary focus is the modernracingprince.com FTF1 series, in which the Traction GG machines have continued to expand their lead, and that number just keeps getting bigger and bigger every single lap. They are working to absolute effectiveness, Caleb.
Yeah, and they've been doing a fantastic job. This is a great idea and concept, and they have been executing it almost perfectly here. They've had a few wobbles around, but other than that, these two have really just put themselves in a league of their own right now here on lap 111 between Naraki and Malillo up here at the front.
Now, this is a race that they've been looking for a while. Naraki himself has a lot of racing to look forward to. He's both doing the Chicago Street Race after this, as well as Chicagoland come Sunday for the FTF Cup Series. So he's going to have an action-packed weekend. He's going to be joined alongside Hawken and Sabelski, are all going to be doing the FTF Chicago Triple Series here, all trying to go out and maybe try and sweep the weekend. And right now, Naraki is looking like the biggest contender to be able to make that happen. But yeah, this is just incredible right now.
And you see Josh Stoltz, after his penalty, is with this group, and this is still a fast race car, can maybe help them pad this buffer just a little bit. And a little bit further back in the pack, we've been seeing a few of these guys try the same thing, but not nearly the effectiveness of what Malillo and Naraki have been able to do up at the front.
Yeah, they have been extremely effective. That's the importance of having a good teammate that's going to stay with you alongside, and most importantly, stay disciplined to a strategy. You need that discipline. You got to continue to push that. And Malillo, Naraki absolutely executing in beautiful fashion. Nearly 6 seconds separates them from the rest of the pack. It's almost an entire straightaway. That is really, really impressive, as we are quickly approaching more green flag pit stops. All that, though, could be expired in a moment. A mistake on pit road or an accident on track. And one almost happens right there on screen, as it looks like one car, that's Nicholas Pressey, had to slam on his brakes going through the corner. That was almost a major incident, but it wasn't. And here we go. We're going to keep going green flag racing until we got a couple of pit road takers.
And again, should be coming up any time now. And really, these guys at the back of the field are up on this already. Guys looking back at like 10th on back, Jonathan Goak, Brendan Hawken, Sabilski, Austin Knight, all kind of at their limit. So, I mean, everybody should be coming up now, but Naraki, Malillo especially have a little bit of wiggle room to work with here.
Got one car to the outside wall. That's Nicholas Pressey. He's going to keep it going forward, but some sort of incident through turns 3 and 4 got him into the outside wall. It looked like, oh, he just accidentally got into the wall. That's all that was, Nicholas Pressey. And he's going to keep it going forward. Doesn't have any major damage, but something he's certainly going to want to be careful of as we see one car try and rejoin with the rest of the field.
And all it takes is overstepping that boundary just a little bit. You see, further back in this pack, a lot of these guys are going to have to figure out how to work around each other, get into the pit lane here. You see a little bit of a side-by-side battle starting to form here.
Nicholas Pressey into that outside wall, has a meatball flag, but there were no cars coming at the time. So that's not going to be a caution flag. He's going to get it rolling. We'll see if his car has significant damage, if he'll be able to make it down to pit road in due time, or what the plan is here. He's going to continue to go out on track, but he does have a meatball flag.
Unfortunate for Pressy for sure, but good job by him to keep it together, and good job by race control to keep this race going.
Go ahead and see what happened here. It's like he's trying to make his way down to pit road. That's a very well executed pit road there. Obviously, we got the wrong replay going up, but there's a lot more pit road takers as it stands. There's going to be, it looks like Seth Eggert's going to be joining with Matthew Brewer and Robert Lowry as they make their ways down pit road. Nicholas Pressy is going to withdraw the car as it looks like Seth Eggert completely misses pit road entry. He's going to take the very, very long way around, and that's going to make him lose the lead draft almost certainly.
And again, all about execution there on pit stops, and one little mistake is going to take you out of this race. It's what we've seen over and over today, and not good news for Seth Eggert right there. I mean, looking around right now, the rest of this pack still having to come down. Everybody here, you see with Ben Fuller on back about at their limit. Ben Fuller, 40 laps in this stint so far.
Yeah, they're definitely going to have to come down. As you say that, Fuller comes down. It looks like Goka's also going to join him down onto the apron. We'll see if anyone here has any issues on pit road. Still got at least one or two more stops for the rest of this race, so don't need to get everything now. Just need to have a good, consistent stop.
And you'll see everybody looks like a clean round of stops from everybody. Is this our lead group together?
Yeah, Ryan Naraki and Justin Malolo both come down pit road at the same exact time. Neither one of them has any sort of pit road speeding penalty getting into pit road. This is all about execution. What can they do here? They had a massive lead just last time by, so we'll see what that turns out on the cycle for these green flag pit cycles.
And it's equally important for these two to come off together as they were, and it looks like a clean round of stops for them. And they will come off the pit lane, and that will cycle out. Only 4 cars yet to come in. Pandicio, Akabueze, Brandon Hawken, and Sabilski all yet to have pit, with Justin Malillo, Ryan Naraki first cars on fresh rubber and a filled up tank.
Sabilski's on pit road right now getting service to that, so make that 3 cars who have not come down to pit road yet. And that'll be very soon, I imagine, for Hawken, Akabueze, and Pandicio. We'll see when they come down. Hamilton Akabueze did stay out the longest last time, so we'll see when he comes down. And Hawken came down 1 lap before Pandicio.
Absolutely, and a little bit of a wiggle on the back stretch, looks like.
Hawken going to come down pit road this time. Looks like he's going to bring Pandicio with him.
And that'll just leave, once again, Hamilton Akabueze out front here.
It was a pretty close call for Hawken actually getting below the white line there. Not sure if race control is going to call him out on that, but that's something he's calling very close to getting down below that white line before the commitment line. So we'll see if race control says anything about that, but something to just look out for. They are cutting it awfully close.
And you see once again Naraki and Malillo all together now. You gotta wonder when Hamilton Akabueze is going to come into the pit lane. I think it's gonna be this time.
Yeah, he's coming down pit road right now. We'll see just exactly where everyone cycles out at the end of this thing. And oh man, he also he's also coming down that white line a little bit late, so doesn't seem to be enforced yet. So we'll see if anything gets said here, but other than that, no issues on pit road this cycle. And move Malillo, move Naraki, back to the front of the board, assuming that Akabuezi isn't able to have one of those pit stops that makes you question just how the heck he managed to pull that off. That's just not going to happen. Easily going to be able to pass him.
That's going to cycle Naraki and Justin Malillo out into the lead, and they have been employing the same strategy here where just swapping the lead back and forth once again, using that momentum, using those runs to propel themselves forward. Akabueze going to get cycled off in third, or fourth actually, as Ben Fuller's going to get by him. And again, on that last round, lost a little bit of time, but not enough to really put Ben Fuller back in this race.
Unfortunately for Josh Stoltz, there's a car behind these two drivers. That's Austin Knight. Austin Knight is one lap down, and Stoltz needs to be the first car any laps down in order for him to be able to get that lucky dog. And right now, Austin Knight is just very casually sitting there watching these two do their pirouette in front of him. And he is going to continue to watch the show, knowing that if a caution were to come out, he will be able to get his lap back relatively unchallenged.
And that's a sick setup there for Austin Knight with the full Red Bull fire suit back behind him. We heard he was struggling with some migraine symptoms earlier on, so running a modified audio and visual setup to accommodate that. But good on him. He's powering through it right now and sitting P13, having a pretty good night, all things considered.
Yeah, and he is just hanging out, watching these two drivers in front of him do what they do best, it seems. Chicagoland is all traction GG right now. Those two pink cars are just phenomenal, and they are rapidly approaching having a 10-second lead over that second pack.
And you see Malillo and Naraki right now. They just crossed the stripe, and that's a huge buffer back to Jonathan Goke, who almost 10 seconds later is just now going to be getting onto that front straightaway. So, I mean, Naraki and Malillo have to be, the favorites right now. They've just set themselves up perfectly here.
We still have, it looks like 14 cars out on track as it stands right now. And makes you wonder, Caleb, are we going to see a caution today? Do we think a yellow flag might fly? As Josh Stoltz gets real loose through that outside wall, but he manages to keep it off the wall. And right now, I guess circle back to that question, now that we saw Josh Stoltz almost wreck, will we see a caution, Caleb?
It's hard to predict. All it takes is one little misstep, and we could absolutely be reshaping this race right now. I mean, we've come so close so many times already, so I'm not going to keep it out of the equation. It's something these drivers need to keep in the back of their minds for sure.
62 laps to go here at Chicago, now 61 as the leaders cross the start-finish line. And that gap is rapidly approaching 10 seconds right now. And it's incredible. A two-car pack able to just work together so phenomenally. Meanwhile, you have this pack right here that has so many drivers in it. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 drivers or so in this pack. And they are not able to make up any speed on that 2-car, 3-car pack ahead of them. Even with some really quick drivers, I'm just absolutely blown away by the performance here, and almost I'm more blown away by the lack of performance by Hawken and Akabueze.
Yeah, it's been uncharacteristic for them today for sure, but I mean, still 6th and 8th right now in position in this pack to try to get up on the podium for both of them. So not out of this equation yet for sure, and even if we get a caution, they're definitely not out of this race as everybody's still all packed up together. So looks rough on the leaderboard right now, but I believe that they're still in better position right now than a few others in this field who have run into some, how do we say it, some trials and tribulations today.
Yeah, right now it is, it's all the Mercedes A Mickey Mouse F1 team out in front. And I'm just looking right now at our modernracingprints.com FTF1 series, and they need to make up quite a bit of points over the Modern Racing Prince GP team and the Clowns team, who are currently our leaders. They are at 115 points, and the Prince team and the Clowns team are at 150 and 154. So this is a day that they absolutely needed to have in order to try and make up as much as they can. And I'm going to say right now, just looking at the point standing, if they can continue to manage this gap and continue to keep this race underneath them and no major race changing cautions occur, that this could be one of those weekends that just leaves them going, I'm happy with everything. This could not have gone any better. They executed on pit road, and that's how they were able to make things happen.
Well, keep in mind as well that these two need momentum going into the Rectangle 500. And again, even with the single race format, the points system in use today is that these two will get significantly more points than even third place. I mean, it's a 10-point gap, 30 points for the winner, and then 20 for third place. And then whoever finishes second will be somewhere, I think, 23 points given out to them. So it's going to be a big gap for sure. And if they can keep this up, then they're in position right now to significantly help their championship chances.
Yeah, these two both been, I dare to say, the best on pit road all day long. Not just because they were able to make up all this time on pit road. They only probably made up a second or two on pit road over the course of all these laps. But where that second or two on pit road mattered was getting them just enough ahead of the draft that they were able to go somewhere. Don't forget, when we saw these two drivers both just barely a second out in front of the pack, they had a third car with them. That was Hamilton Akabuezi. But they managed to shake our points leader off of their draft, and they haven't looked back since. So these two clearly have something sorted out that even a car trailing behind them in Hamilton, Akabuezi, could not keep up with.
And it's just the advantages of having a teammate by your side when you're able to communicate with each other in real time and not leave each other guessing. It really gives you an advantage and gives you an edge, and these two have definitely made the most of it here. I mean, working out to almost a 10-second lead between the two right now.
Yeah, that is that's one of those leads that you're not used to seeing at a draft heavy oval track. I wouldn't say it's unheard of, but it is not a common thing to talk about. Typically that happens with a very awkward set of green flag pit cycles where there's an issue on pit road that causes people to get all separated and all jumbled up. But for the most part, other than these two, the rest of the field has stayed together and are continuing to stay together. These two drivers are almost a half a track ahead of these other cars. If I could kind of describe it for you right now, while they enter turn 1 and 2, they're in the middle of turn 3 and 4, this other group pack. So there is just an incredible job done by these two cars, and I can't praise them enough for it. But that could all change if there's a mistake on pit road by either one of them.
And that last round of stops, really going to make or break this race for these two. And they've built up enough of a gap right now. Remember, coming in last time, it was about a 7-second advantage. So, if they can continue to keep up this pace right now, keep this buffer up for, about 12 more laps maybe, and then come down the pit lane, a clean round of stops for the two, they are going to be in prime position, even with the caution, where they have this really just figured out.
Yeah, right now we're rapidly approaching more pit stops, and the only thing I could say right now that could cause issues is the we got one taker on pit road. That's the 91 machine of DL Lemon, and there was a dissatisfied driver, and our first person to get penalized for missing pit road entry. DL Lemon gonna get a black flag here, but we are gonna have pit road cycling here happening. But this is a very awkward spot because we know you can make it about 43 laps on fuel, how long can Malillo and Naraki stay out? Are they going to be okay to make it not just all the way to the end, the scheduled distance, but have enough for a green-white checkered if needed?
I think they have plenty of buffer room, honestly. I mean, looking right now, they are only 31 laps into their stint. We've seen them push it to almost 43, which gives them about 11, 12 more laps in the tank. So I'd say they probably run this out until as close as they can get to that edge of running out, just to give themselves a little extra buffer room. But with their gap, I don't think they need to be too worried about it. Looking on back to guys like Jonathan Goke, Ben Fuller, you see another car pulls off. I think that's Austin Knight.
Austin Knight going to make his way down pit road. And you're right. For some reason, I feel like they were out for longer than they were. But if they were only out for 33 laps, they are more than good to make it to the end. They just need one more stop here. And it is smooth sailing for the Mickey Mouse Mercedes team. If they can make that happen, then the things are going to be A-okay and great. But we are very quickly approaching that the money stop, the one that you need to execute absolutely flawless in order to make it to the end of this race. Battle right now for third place is pretty much the only place that there's a battle that's in contention. We know if something major happens, who's going to go to first and second.
Absolutely, and this pack starting to get racy back here for sure. Jonathan Goke, Ben Fuller, all still yet to pit. And you can see Ben Fuller, once again, trying to get out of that throttle, does not want to be leading this second pack around here. But Brandon Hawk and Ryan Pandisio, Akabueze, all in this group as well back here. So this will be a really important group as they try to navigate this final stop.
Seth Eggert has come down pit road, getting his car serviced to make that his last stop of the race. Seth Eggert's going to come down 39 laps to go. That should be plenty enough for him. In and out already for Seth Eggert. We got one taker on pit road. That looks like that's Goke's going to come down pit road this time by. See what Goke is able to make happen as he completely misses pit road entrance. That is not the time to be making a mistake like that. Second time today that Goke has had issues coming down to pit road. He's going to get it underneath. No issues. Josh Stoltz joins him on pit road. Stoltz a few laps down. Never got that caution that he so desired and wished and hoped for. And no other takers on pit road this time by.
Absolutely, and I think you're going to start to see guys. Yeah, Robert Lowry comes over the radio, says he's pitting this time. Going to be really busy here as you see this exit. Lemon coming to a stop, and I think he is going to be done.
Yeah, there was a not on camera because we saw our two leaders who decided to come down pit road as well. But Lemon at a very awkward spot on the track, had cars coming at full song directly behind him. He was coming to a stop to get out of his vehicle and almost caused a major incident. Fortunately, everyone was able to get by unscathed, but definitely one of those incidents that leaves you very scared that something was going to happen. But we see Fuller come down pit road. Malillo, Naraki, Brewer, Lowry, Sabelski, Fuller all get service to their vehicles in the last lap and a half.
Right now, this group, I think everybody's going to stay up, but right behind these four are your two leaders of Justin Malillo and Ryan Naraki, who got separated a little bit, but Justin Malillo going to get off the throttle to try to let his teammate back in, and that's absolutely what's going to happen here. Naraki with a run. These two are going to try to employ this same strategy.
See a little bit of driving around, a little bit of passing happening. Brandon Hawkin, Hamilton Akabueze, Ryan Pandisio, and Seth Eggert. Seth's already come down pit road, so he's just trying to get a lap back as it stands. Actually, he is 2 laps down, so trying to get back to 1 lap down.
And you see this lead pack right now. If they have any tricks up their sleeves at the moment, Akabueze, Brandon Hawkin. Right now, I think Hawkins dropping back, maybe anticipating him coming down this time by.
Not this time by. It looks like that might have just been a dance move. And it's a little bit awkward to to kind of see our 2 points leaders working together. But at this point in time, if they want a chance to win this race, they're gonna have to join in the dance of the Dalaras and make sure that this draft is just working like a conveyor belt. Just go and move the whole time.
Well, keep in mind that Akabueze and Brandon Hawken, you know, the liveries might be different for these two, but they are still allied and in constant communication. Hawken, Akabueze, Pandicio, all within the same, you know, communication channel, and they're all sharing information back and forth. So don't let the scheme on the car fool you, because they are definitely working together trying to figure this out. But I think right now it's just a little too late at this point. Malillo and Naraki have just created such a big gap on back that unless they have a miracle stop or a caution, something of that sort, it's going to be really hard to catch Malillo and Naraki.
Hawken and Pandicio will have to come down pit road this time. So that's going to leave Akabueze out by his lonesome self. All he's doing at this point in time by staying out is lose time. So I would imagine that Akabueze isn't going to stay out for much longer with no draft. He'll stay out another lap, but these two drivers come down pit road, and we will see where they end up cycling out and just how much of a lead that the Mickey Mouse Mercedes machines are going to have over those other cars.
Absolutely, and Akabueze really trying to push this to the limit. Right now, 42 laps, and I think probably, yeah, this time by. Oh, big slide on the apron there for Akabueze, trying to come back down, but this is going to cycle Naraki and Malillo back out front as they have just unlapped themselves.
And right now, that lead as it stands over those drivers in front is, we'll see what it cycles out to, but it looks about 8 seconds or so. So maybe a little bit less. We'll see as it cycles out here. Yeah, it looks like it's going to be roughly 8.5 seconds. So not the most, the cleanest of stops for those two. But with the amount of buffer they built, it really isn't going to matter all that much.
And you see they're already about 8 seconds ahead of Akabueze coming off the pit lane. Ben Fuller in this group. Brandon Hawken going to catch Akabueze. And once again, this is all going to be a battle for third. But this will probably be the battle to watch, you know, besides Malillo and Naraki, who are just swapping this lead back and forth. We'll see how racy they want to get here with 25 laps to go, but I think right now they're just smooth sailing.
If I had to guess, if it's going to be between Malillo and Naraki, I feel like Malillo will probably get the win here, seeing as he is currently third in points and needs to close that gap to Hawken and Akabueze. So they have a little bit of a team decision to make of who gets the win, who gets second place. It's an awkward position to be in, because you know both drivers would love to be in victory lane tonight, but we don't hand out 2 trophies for first. We hand out 1, so they're gonna have to figure that out as long as we say green flag.
Yeah, but meanwhile, I mean, they're still in just fantastic position right now, and I think barring a big mistake, which we haven't seen from either of them. Yeah, maybe like a Naraki getting loose and spinning, which we've seen that car step out a few times, but he's done a fantastic job to save it. And even then, they have a big enough buffer. I think even that probably wouldn't kill their advantage.
Working 22 laps to go here, and there is no clear major issues that are currently presenting themselves in front of Malillo and Naraki. And they're continuing to, at bare minimum, maintain their gap. There is a 3-wide battle for third place as it stands. Ben Fuller and Pandicio. Fuller's going to go to the middle, Pandicio to the top. Akabueze hangs out on bottom, and Pandicio almost gets into the marbles, able to just barely stay off of that lane that is a absolute no-go lane. But it is getting real close between these two for third place. Fuller really getting tight on the outside of Akabuezi. And right now, oh, look at that. Oh, Pandicio really thought about going up the middle there, but that gap closed. And Pandicio with a big run is going to be able to get out in front of Fuller. Where is he going to take this run? Does he take it to the outside? Does he stay on line? Stays in line.
Oh, trouble! Little bit of contact. Ben Fuller's up in the wall hard.
There's a wreck. Oh, this is a wreck. Caution flag flies.
Gotta be a caution there.
Oh my goodness. And just when we thought that this race was signed, sealed, and delivered, we go under caution flag and nullify the 8.5-second lead that the Traction GG machines had. We'll get a replay to see what happened here.
And you see Ben Fuller just broken right there, and it's all just a little bit of contact. Is running into some technical difficulties right now, but still, between that lead group all battling for third, it was Ben Fuller. Here we go, a good look at it. Coming through the tri-oval, and it's Pandicio, I think, tags the apron just a little bit, comes up the racetrack and just sends Ben Fuller up into the wall, airborne, nothing he can do. And nothing he can do. Is it's scary with Goke. Lowry, this second group coming in with that car sliding back down the racetrack. A close call for sure, but this is going to definitely rechange this race. And I mean, Malillo and Naraki had this thing in the bag, and are now going to have to fend off guys like Akabueze, Brandon Hawk, and Jonathan Goke, who have all shown to have speed. And again, Mendoza, I was saying, if we get a caution, then Akabueze, Brandon Hawk are not going to be out of this thing. And here they are, P3 and P4.
Yeah, they're right back into this. They're in position. They knew that's where they needed to be. And my goodness gracious, that was insane. And boy, oh boy, I mean, this is the kind of thing that I think we need to chat with a driver and kind of get their thoughts. The driver that comes to mind for me is going to be the driver that's currently and presently in second place, Justin Malillo. Justin, how are you feeling?
I'm not feeling as good as I did about 5 minutes ago. The Mickey Mouse Clubhouse was hands down going to be in victory lane tonight. Whether it was going to be me or Ryan, we would figure that out on the last lap. But this is disappointing that we got a caution this late. We really did have it.
Almost going caution free the whole night. Now, we were trying to decide, did you guys have a strategy of who was going to be the winner and who was going to be second place, or was it no holds bar when the white flag flew?
We have a mutual respect for one another. We would have figured it out silently, and it would have been unspoken. But yeah, we would have known at the point. I mean, we've been doing this for long enough that we would have known. So yeah, it's a shame. So we gotta regroup here. We got 14 laps to go on the restart, and we'll hopefully be able to still hold on. But now we got some guys who've been fast all night, and the whole pack's together, and it's gonna be interesting.
Yeah, and Justin, I don't want you to show all your cards right now, but do you have anything figured out with your teammate Naraki here on this restart to try to keep guys like Hawken and Akabueze behind you?
Honestly, you guys are kind of taking that away from us by having me in here, but it's all good.
Well, we'll let you get back to it.
Appreciate it, guys. You guys do awesome.
And that's Justin Malillo, and yeah, as you heard there, a little bit of strategy that they have still to work out here on this restart, but this is going to be the turning point of the race for sure.
Yeah, that was. We'll give them an opportunity to try it out, see what they can figure out here. We'll give them a whole lap. Rocky will be in control. He does have that teammate from behind in Malillo. Akabueze very quick, Hawken very quick, Goke very quick. I mean, Lowry, he's been up there all night. Brewer's been a part of the picture all night. Sabelski's been a little bit quiet, but I mean, we know what he can pull off. And you have Austin Knight and Pandicio. Pandicio was just there, and if it weren't for getting involved in that incident, he would be right up in that picture. So we'll see where he lines up. Everyone that's kind of out there has pretty much equal footing to go win it, Caleb.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting for sure, because this is the first time since that initial start we've had everybody grouped up together, and throughout the course of the run, guys like Naraki and Melillo were able to gap themselves out, but they're going to have to figure something out, because Akabueze, Hawken, Jonathan Goke on back, it's no easy feat to keep them behind you.
So we'll see what they've planned, and the green flag has dropped, and a beautiful launch for the Mickey Mouse Clubhouse. They are absolutely ahead by quite a bit already. Akabueze caught asleep at the wheel, and my goodness, that was a great launch for those two drivers. Hawken able to get around Akabueze, but not enough to go ahead and break that draft. They are still there, and they get real loose. It looks like Melillo gets loose in front of Naraki. That stacks up both of them. Bring Brandon Hawken into the picture. 3 wide at the line. 13 laps to go here at Chicagoland.
Akabueze actually getting held up, helped Hawken out a ton as he was able to use that draft to get by him, and this is really going to throw a wrench into things. Akabueze down to the inside of Justin Melillo, splitting up the Mickey Mouse Clubhouse machines, and now Brandon Hawken trying to get that runoff for not quite. Here it comes, Akabueze to the inside of Brandon Hawken.
And Justin Melillo and Goke make contact. Goke gets out of it, and he loses all of his momentum. He draws back 10 car lengths or more. The Mickey Mouse Clubhouse is separated at the moment. What are they going to be able to have happen as Melillo is stuck behind Hawken, trying everything he can to join his teammate in Naraki back at the front of the pack, and he is continuing to fall backwards, bring Goke back into the picture.
Again, all it takes is that one mistake. They had a beautiful launch, and it was all thrown away when they ran a little bit wide into turn number 3. Justin Melillo still trying to use this run to the outside. Brandon Hawken with a big wiggle. Going to get that car back single filed out. But coming to the line, going to be 10 laps to go. Justin Melillo trying to make it 3 wide up at the top as they go into turn 1.
Top of 3 is Justin Melillo looking for the lead. 3 wide right now as Hawken and Naraki go side by side down the backstretch. Hawken with the nose out in front. Goke looking to make it 4 wide. Thinks better of it, but bring Melillo to the outside with a little bit of a run. He's going to make it happen. 3 wide across the line. 9 laps to go here at Chicago.
Got to be careful. This is where your car can step out on you, and it looks like Melillo is going to be okay for right now. Going to try to slot back in line behind Brandon Hawken as these guys are all packed up together right now. Once again, trying to go 3 wide for this lead, trying to use this run that Melillo has. That's going to put Naraki out front. Is still Hawken and Melillo are side by side, almost making contact.
Hawken able to get to the outside of Naraki. Naraki holding the bottom. Goke gets a little bit of loose underneath. Melillo keeps it back together, but that moves that rear row back about 2 car lengths. That's going to make it single file once again. Melillo able to get down to the middle line. Is he able to make it up to that lead pack? Hawken still holding on that outside line. Melillo moves to the outside with help from behind from Goke. Who's going to be able to hold it in there? No room for error as they work their way through 1 and 2. 7 laps to go.
Surprised we haven't seen Melillo go down behind Naraki, and now Jonathan Goke's going to approach from that angle. Still 3 wide here. This outside lane has not been working for Justin Melillo. Talking to him pre-race, he said that car handled a lot better on the bottom, so maybe we'll see him try. No, still going to try this outside for now on the outside of Hawken.
And look at that. Naraki gets a little bit higher, forces Hawken to go a lane where he did not want to go. Melillo is able to get a big run, go to the outside into turn number 3. Still 3 wide. No one has made claim of the lead. No one's been able to have it happen. Lowry loses it off of turn number 4, keeps it underneath him. We continue green flag racing. 6 laps to go. 5 laps to go.
Akabueze back up into this picture once again as well. It was Jonathan Goke for a while, but I think he and Lowry are going to draft together and get back up in this lead pack. Again, no margin for error whatsoever. Justin Melillo still trying to negotiate what to do on the outside of Brandon Hawken here. I think he needs to be a little more patient and sit in line, because right now trying to work this outside lane has just not been working for that machine. If he can cut down right now and get back with Naraki, I think it's going to put them in the best position, but still, they're going to try 3 wide down the backstretch for the lead.
4 laps to go here at Chicagoland. The victor goes the spoils, and right now, Brandon Hawken looking to be the biggest spoil of them all, getting right in the middle of the Mickey Mouse Clubhouse. 3 laps to go. No one clearly defined as the leader, as we have been side by side for literally 10 laps in a row, and there's 3 more to settle it.
Oh, a little bit of contact. Akabueze is going to go around. Justin Malillo is upside down on the backstretch.
That has every implication for the championship. Akabueze involved in a major incident, and that is going to move Hawken into, it looks like, first place. He'll be our leader, but Akabueze out of this race with 3 laps to go, and Malillo was just a few laps away from being able to get a great finish, as we'll see a replay right here.
Again, just a little bit of contact. Tires touch for Akabueze, gets him thrown back on his side, and then Justin Malillo, same thing, upside down on the backstretch here at Chicagoland. And it's all because they made just a little bit of contact, but this is big in terms of championship implications for Hamilton Akabueze. Now Brandon Hawken set up in the lead, and Akabueze is going to be lucky to come out of here with a top 12 finish tonight.
Unfortunately for him, I think it'll definitely just be 12th place, but that I believe that's one of the first times that we've seen Akabueze sitting down on pit road for any sort of incidents all year long, and that was lining up to be one of those classic finishes here for the FTF1 series. But we still have plenty of opportunities. We got a green-white checkered here. This will be our 1 attempt at a green-white checkered. We'll see if they're going to be able to make it happen. I can guarantee you that Naraki is fuming inside of his helmet alongside Malillo, because they both wanted a really good finish for that whole team and that organization to try and close that constructors gap. That late race caution that lined up that incredible race that we saw just there. Guarantee you Naraki is.
Yeah, not what Ryan Naraki wanted to see at all. And again, I just don't know. It's difficult there, because you want to use that run to try to get yourself up to the lead, but I think I think Malillo and Naraki had a few opportunities there to try to get together and run away from the field a little bit. It would have been a lot more difficult with Brandon Hawken there in the equation, but they definitely could have paired up together and started a little mini tandem of sorts, but just not going to happen there. And Akabueze and Malillo coming together, making contact, and Jonathan Goke was able to come out of that without damage as well, so should be setting up for a solid 5-car battle. Another guy as well sitting in 6th right now, Austin Knight, who has had a quiet night, but he has set himself up for a solid points opportunity here if he can capitalize on this final restart.
Austin Knight just got our lucky dog, so that brings him back into the picture. But I kind of want to rewind, Caleb. In our minds, let's rewind to what that last restart was. We saw just how great of a start that the Mickey Mouse Clubhouse teammates got with each other. But that was all evaporated by turn number 3. And Hawken, he doesn't have any teammates to work with. Is Naraki in that cappered seat? Is he in the right place to be in order to make something happen? I know Akabueze, he lost that position to Hawken, being that second car, third technically with the Mickey Mouse team, but is Naraki in the right place to make a win happen?
Fair for sure, and we'll see. I think Brandon Hawken for sure is in the best seat here. If you want to come home with the checkered flag, it's not going to be easy to fend off guys like Naraki and Lowry and Goke, but I mean, Hawken has shown that he has speed and he's able to fend guys off. He was right there neck and neck with Ryan Naraki on the outside for, again, it was like 10 or 11 laps. So I think Naraki is going to have to make his car operate a little bit better on the outside. Brandon Hawken has been comfortable really any lane of the racetrack, and Naraki was only showing in that last run that he was good on that bottom side, and even to the point where once he got on that outside earlier on in the race, that car was snapping sideways.
Yeah, this is gonna be insane, and I definitely feel like even though we have, it looks like about 11 cars still out on track, maybe 10 cars on track, the likelihood of it is we'll probably see at least one or two of them have some sort of fatal damage to their car that does not allow them to continue and make it all the way to the checkered flag. But it looks like Naraki is looking to build a bit of a gap here. And that's something that we saw Melillo do.
Yeah, maybe shoot this start a little bit.
Definitely an opportunity. We'll see what he does here. It is all in control of Hawken as we pass that red line. Hawken chooses when to start, and Hawken chooses to go. Naraki is going to go ahead and start running, and we'll see what happens here. Naraki quite a bit back, almost a second back right now from Hawken. It's going to take a lot for him to be able to catch up, but I think Hawken might have got one of those restarts that he may be able to maintain that lead. I don't know if there's enough time for them to close that gap.
Robert Lowry got out of the gas, and that's huge. If you're this far back, you need to capitalize on these runs and be able to propel yourself forward. That's not what they did. White flag, Brandon Hawken in prime position here.
Naraki, 246, as Goat goes around. He's going to keep it together and continue to go straight. But Naraki, 246 miles per hour. Hawken, 241. But there's still plenty of room. And it looks like Hawken is going to be able to hold off a late race charge by Naraki. And Brandon Hawken spoils the win for the Mickey Mouse team. He is going to go home the winner. Naraki comes home second.
Good podium finish for Robert Lowry as well. Sabilski got up there at the end. Matthew Brewer, Jonathan Goke will get a full rundown of your results, but a few guys gonna be able to survive the adversity and come out of here with a good run here tonight.
And with that win, Brandon Hawken will be your points leader as far as I can tell. It looks like Akabuezi is going to finish 11th place overall. I don't know how many points that pays, but Hawken will be just barely your points leader if I had to guess.
And he'll burn it down on the front straight. And what a race. Again, throughout everything, we thought it was going to be Ryan Naraki and Justin Melillo, splitting two steps of this podium, but in the end, it's Naraki coming home in second for the Mickey Mouse Clubhouse, and Justin Melillo a tough break as he's going to finish outside of the top 10, I believe.
It should be by about 5 points right now in Hawken's favor. That all that gap that Akabuezi has built up over Hawken completely gone and expired. A massive win for that 99 team right now.
Burning it down, Brandon Hawken, and again, a great power win for him to be able to split up the Mickey Mouse Clubhouse cars, come out of here with the lead, and a great final restart. Was using those draft dodging techniques to get in here. Just a great win.
We'll go ahead down our running order at the end of this race by 0.2 of a second. And that is a massive, massive, massive win differential right there for all the races we saw over Ryan Naraki. Robert Lowry, an incredible run, 17th place all the way up to third place. That's a great run. Brian Zabelski, Matthew Brewer, Jonathan Goke, who we saw almost wreck on that final lap, manages to bring it home 6th. Austin Knight brings it in 7th. Ryan Pandicio and Seth Egger, 8th and 9th. Josh Stoltz, unfortunately, a player all night until he had an unfortunate pit stop penalty.
Yeah, looking on back at 11th, Hamilton Akabueze occupying that spot after being caught in that last caution. 12th for Justin Melillo, who was upside down on the backstretch here at Chicagoland. Ben Fuller, another guy involved in one of those late race cautions. He's going to finish 13th, 22 laps down. DL Lemon, after disconnecting on the backstretch, finishing 14th. Pressy In the 9 car, finishing in the 15th position, Rafael Ruiz in 16th, Bill Colley in 17th, rounding out your field.
Well, we'll go ahead and catch up with our winner. Brandon Hawken somehow manages to negotiate his way back up to the front of the pack, sits on pole, somehow comes home with the win. Brandon, did you think at about 20 laps to go, being 8.5 seconds behind those Mickey Mouse Clubhouse cards, that you had anything, or were you just hoping for that caution to come?
Yeah, pretty much the only way that we were gonna get the win was if there was a caution. Ryan and Justin did a really great job there, going back and forth, and they just gapped us. I think we were all kind of playing games. They were coming out of the pits there that one time, and they just started going. And yeah, that was definitely the right strategy to be on. They outsmarted all of us there. I think like after Texas, I was like, you know what, for Chicagoland, I'm not giving nobody draft. I'm just gonna take all I can to save the fuel. And I think that was what was on everybody else's, or mostly everybody else's minds as well. It's so easy to save gas with this car. And if you're out front for like a lap, there's like a lap that you've lost under green. So or an extra lap that you can't use. So it's man, yeah, it's oval racing with this car. It's a lot of strategy involved. And yeah, definitely. Yeah, the 2 Mickey Mouse Clubhouse cars. They did a really great job. And yeah, just yeah, once that caution came out, I guess there was a bit of contact ahead of me, and yeah, I just did all I could to try and get the lead. And man, I was going back and forth there. I think it was with Naraki there. I don't know how many laps that was, like 15 or something. And I my nose must have just barely been ahead when that second caution came out. And yeah, from there I just need to get the probably one of the best restarts of my life. I just had to smash the gas and hope the rears didn't spin, and fortunate enough to bring it home there without having to lose it coming to the line or anything. So, man, what a race! It was a ton of strategy. We were all just like saving like crazy, and then towards the end, I really feel for Ryan and Justin, because they had the strategy for sure. But you know what? I'll take it. I lost one at Phoenix, but yeah, we'll take one at Chicago. So you know, that was a lot of fun. So yeah, really great stuff from everybody.
Well, there you heard it there first from our new points leader. Brandon Hawken is going to be leaving Chicago with a small points buffer over Hamilton Akabueze. Caleb is going to be catching up with our second place driver. Congratulations again to Brandon Hawken for winning.
And I'm here with second place finisher Ryan Naraki. And Naraki, you and Justin Malillo had the strategy to beat. All kind of unraveled after that late race restart. Talk us through what happened from that 5 Machines point of view.
Yeah, we had the strategy perfect. We knew if we could get a second lead and do that, we could leave the field. We were 0.3 of a lap faster. We kind of knew that, and just kind of kept that in our back pocket. And then they were kind of messing around after a pit stop, and we were able to do that, and we had them covered. We would have, if the race would have been long enough, we'd have lapped the whole field. But some sort of caution, I don't know what happened there, and that kind of screwed everything up. And then Hawken and I were having a really great battle for the lead and for the win. We were an inch apart for 15 laps. We've always raced really well together, Brandon and I have, and it took a lot of respect from both of us, because one tiny little slip, we would have wrecked each other. So that caution, it really came down to that caution and whose nose was ahead. What happened on that last restart is the tires cooled off, and in dirty air, it just couldn't get a run. So whoever had that lead on that restart was going to be in a really, really good spot. He got a killer restart and got us. But man, it was cool to run out front for so long. It was really cool to have a 10-second lead on the whole field and do the swapping back and forth. It took a lot of communication. You guys saw we were coming a few inches from each other every time we were doing that to maximize our pace, and it was cool to kind of flex that. We're always, we're not always the pace guys, but we try to race smart and race with strategy. And this car lends itself to that on ovals. So still had a great time. It was a great race. Yeah.
Yeah, not quite the result that your teammate wanted in Justin Malillo, but still a great second place finish here for you. How do you look ahead towards the Rectangle 500? That whole process is going to be our next event here in the FTF1 series.
Yeah, so I run every race in this series, and I've only gotten points one other time. It was my win at Phoenix, and then I finished second here tonight. So if I make the points at Indy, that means that I'm competing for the win. That's either going to be that or I'll wreck out early. We know what we need to do. In IndyCar and in this car is going to be strategy based, just like this race was, and obviously that's right in our wheelhouse. So looking forward to that. Indianapolis is my best track in any car. FTF Cup Series, I'm a back marker, but I finished third in the Cup Series at Indy last year. Like, I really love the Indy Oval. It's my favorite track in the world. I'm looking forward to being back in real life next year for NASCAR. But yeah, really looking forward to that. That's the marquee event, and going to go out and try to get a win.
Well, that's your second place finisher, and Ryan Naraki, a great momentum builder for him. Second place here tonight. Josh?
Thanks, guys.
Yeah, that was a Naraki. Clearly, they had a strategy. They had the execution that they needed to make it happen, but not quite what they wanted. What they wanted out of this race. Well, I mean, I'm looking forward right now to that Chicago street course that I know that Naraki is going to be participating in. You guys will be racing on it virtually. I got to catch a flight to fly out to Chicago in about 9 hours here. So I guess we should wrap this up so I can get to bed, get ready to get going. Caleb, any last thoughts?
No, that was a hell of a race for sure. I mean, watching the strategy play out between the Mickey Mouse Clubhouse machines and then seeing it all unravel was really crazy. But Brandon Hawken coming out on top, a great buffer for him in the championship points battle fight to, again, hopefully try to come out of here with a championship.
Well, there you go. Well, we got a lot to look forward to. In about 2 weeks' time, we got the Rectangle 500 qualifying at Indianapolis. That's July 15th. And then following, we have the July 22nd running of the Rectangle 500 at Indianapolis. Well, that's it for us here at Chicagoland for the ModernRacingPrince.com FTF1 series. I'm Josh Mendoza, joined by Caleb Hoffman, Zach Johnson behind the buttons, showing us all the action around the track. Thank you very much for tuning in. We look forward to seeing you again here on FTF.GG here shortly in about 12 hours time for the FTF Cup Series at the Chicago Street Course. Thank you all and have a wonderful night.